In this section you will learn how to write the literature review.
The literature review consists in detecting, compiling and consulting the bibliography and other useful written materials in a systematic way for the purposes of the study, where the necessary and relevant information will be obtained and summarized in regards to the research problem. This is the most time-consuming activity in writing your research proposal. Here are some examples of the documents you will have to read: books, chapters in edited books, articles in refereed international journals, articles in national refereed journals, conference papers and research reports, PhD dissertations and master thesis, universities' websites and non-refereed journals.
Let's recall the structure of the literature matrix that you prepared in a previous session. Title, year, author, method, keywords, location of study, data collection techniques, variables, disagreements and similarities with your work, how these works relate to each other, results, how these works relate to your work, notes.
You will use your literature matrix and work cards, then select the relevant works for your research as was explained in earlier sessions. Once you have your literature matrix in place, then look for trends and patterns in theory, method or results, themes, debates or contradictions, influential studies in different regions and knowledge gaps. Remember that it is MS Excel and you can use different colors to group different criteria.
You can also sort your literature matrix by the different criteria to write the literature review. For example, if you want to use a chronological criterion, sort it by the date field. If you want to use a methodological criterion, add a keyword for the method they used to each record and then sort the literature matrix by this field.
At this point you don't have to read all the references. You have to be selective, read the titles, indexes, chapters or summaries first.
It might happen that a primary source refers to our problem, but it may not be useful because it approaches the topic from a different point of view or other studies concluded that its results are erroneous. In regards to books, you may begin by reviewing its table of contents to see if there are sections that you will have to read. If they are articles, check the abstract first, then its conclusions and results. Take note who the authors are. You may want to look for more of their publications. Once you have selected the most relevant sources, it is when you start reading.
What literature review is not? It is not an essay. It is not a protocol. It does not present the main topics of a protocol. It does not prove the hypothesis. It does not corroborate the main topics. It does not have the structure of a protocol.
To better understand the literature review, take for example a set of photographs from a trip to several countries in Europe. They will be organized. One way could be chronologically or by country. It is like a historical sequence of photographs. In these photographs, the main points are presented. It is not a summary of the information. You will establish relationships among the main points of these photographs.
Another example to understand the literature review is by an analogy. What do we do when we meet an old friend that we had not seen in a long time? We ask them, "Tell me, what have you done during all this time?" Then we bring them to the present days. In the literature review, we bring the reader from the past to the present and the evolution of the topic that we are researching. We introduce them to the contributions that have been made to the research field.
The purpose of the literature review helps avoid making errors that have been made in other studies, gives guidance about how the study should be carried out, helps the researcher to keep focus on the problem, thus avoiding deviations from the original problem, helps adopting a theory that will be confronted against reality, inspires new lines and areas of research, provides a framework to interpret the results of the study.
The purpose of the literature review: get a better understanding of the problem that is being researched. Show understanding of the problem. Establish the state-of-the-art of the field regarding the problem being researched. Provide a reference to the reader. The organization of the information will depend on what you found in the literature and what you want to emphasize. Here are 5 common approaches. Chronological. To use this approach, sort your texts from older to the most recent publication. Thematic. Organize your texts around several key themes. Methodological. Compare the different research methods that were used in different studies. Theoretical. Use a theoretical approach if you found controversies and you want to discuss opposing theories or models. Geographically. If there have been different approaches depending on the continent, country or even region.
Do not just copy and paste information from various sources and then present this as the literature review of your research proposal.
Here is how you start writing the literature review. Write an introduction. Detect the principal concepts, then write the main questions that other researchers have asked in regards to the topic through time. Then write these questions as subtitles. Between the questions, write a summary about what has been found in the different information sources and discuss how they approached these questions. Highlight their contributions, discuss the weaknesses for each approach, talk about their importance, criticize the methods, the variables and techniques and their results, the contradictions among them, their contributions, how they relate to each other, how they relate to your work.
Finally, write your discussion, make comparisons, discuss the methods, the variables and techniques they used, the contradictions among them, their results and contributions.
Now it's your turn.
Answer these questions. You are going to record yourself answering these questions. You are going to record the synthetic voice and your voice as if it were a conversation. You have from 30 to 40 seconds to answer. Give complete answers. Give reasons. Use all the time you need to answer. Don't stop speaking. The file type you submit to your teacher must be MP3. If you need more time, stop this video and record your answer, then resume this video and continue with your recording.
You are going to practice several times answering these questions. When you think you are ready, record yourself with the speech-to-text microphone in WhatsApp in your cell phone. If it shows the words that you are saying, then your pronunciation is correct. If not, check your pronunciation. Find a voice synthesis application so that you copy and paste what you are trying to say and listen to how the words are pronounced. Then try again until you pronounce correctly. When you are able to pronounce correctly, then record the questions and your answers using your cell phone and submit it to your teacher.
1. Escucha las preguntas primero. 2. Escribe tus respuestas. 3. Practica leyendo tus respuestas con tu celular en el modo de voz a texto para que verifiques que se escriben correctamente las palabras que dices. También puedes usar otro programa de reconocimiento de voz o de dictado. 4. Cuando pronuncies bien, graba la conversación. Si pronuncias mal, no envíes tu archivo hasta que lo hagas correctamente.
Explain what is the literature review. Mention 5 sources of information for your literature review and what can you extract from them. How can the literature matrix help you when writing the literature review? Mention some criteria in how you can write the literature review. Describe the structure of the literature review.
This is the end of the session. See you in our next Hands on the Writing a Research Proposal Flipped Classroom session.